Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is my super afterthought review of Season 9, and also what I think is gonna happen in the Grand Series finale. If you haven't seen the majority of Season 9, don't watch this video. It will definitely contain spoilers, so you have been warned. So this is going to be a little bit unusual, where I'm going to do an afterthought review to, in some ways, the entire season up until the season finale, because of course I have not yet seen the season finale, so Also, the purpose of this video is to discuss what do I think the main six are going to do when the villains come out and unleash their evilness upon Equestria, and what I think that they might do in response, and what I hope they might do in response, and what I might want to see in the series finale. So roar! Because I have spent a lot of time discussing the village, it would be fair to, discuss what I think our heroes might do, so roar! And not to mention, I am on the good side, not evil. And I should be discussing the main six, but in regards to the series finale, we've ironically been spending a lot more time with the villains. In fact, the main six don't even know that the villains are out there and doing all this, so But let's get on to the afterthought review. To me, this season is kind of in some ways a disappointment, but it's also really cool. We started off with a very exciting and very eventful premiere. Just a few things happened. Oh, the elements of harmony were destroyed. Princess Twilight's gonna be ruler of Equestria. And, oh, by the way, the supervillains have all teamed up with some ancient guy called Grogar, and we're all gonna die. Really annoyed with myself that I thought, oh, it's just a dream. It honestly would have totally fit the whole Sombra thing, but no, it was all real. The elements of harmony, the tree of harmony, they're toast. They've been destroyed. No! But fortunately, it all worked out in the end, especially in the next episode with Uprooted, where it's like the tree lives on in a new form, so yay! That song, I think, is my favorite song so far of the season, because I think that's the song that we really needed. That song was really about, dealing with losing something that really means to you a great deal, and I really liked the primary lesson. This thing may be gone, but as long as we remember it, it's in our hearts, it'll live on forever, and that sometimes things that we love change from one thing into another, so they're not really gone, so yo! Which is definitely very appropriate for the show, because, with a new generation coming, it's like, sure, this generation's coming to an end, but there is a generation coming afterwards. Yeah, it won't be the same, but at least the show will live on in a brand new form, so roar! I have to consult my magic window that tells me all the episodes, so because otherwise, I might end up talking about every single episode, which is I don't think what I want to do for this video. But yeah, there's a lot of episodes that felt like didn't really mean that all that much, like a Trivial Pursuit. It was trivial. But at the same time, it was kind of nice to have the ponies of Ponyville just be able to have something nice, like a Trivial Pursuit night, and not always have to worry about saving the world or always having to deal with a big crisis. It's like, okay, our biggest crisis is, oh, who's my partner gonna be for Trivial Pursuit? Yes, that's a good day in Ponyville. There have been quite a few episodes where it feels like, it's not a big of a deal, but there's other episodes where, like, Sweet and Smoky that have been, like, wrapping up character arcs and relationships between characters. So yeah, so it's been a mix of okay episodes and some pretty good episodes and some awesome episodes, and has definitely touched upon a lot of stuff. This being the last season, it really had to. Obviously, the main purpose of this season is to wrap up the show, the characters, and in a way that's reasonable that the fans will be happy with. Yeah, like certain things like Sugar Belle and Big Mac, their wedding was almost in a way rushed. It was almost stuck in at the very end of that episode, but they really had to have that wedding and marry them off so that people don't, wonder, oh, are they gonna get married? Are they not gonna get married? Is Big Mac gonna get back with Cheryl Lee? It's like, no, they propose to each other, they're married, so yes, and I do appreciate those things. On the other hand, of course, there's always the fun thing of, oh, are they gonna get married? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Like with Sunburst and Starlight Glimmer, now that they're effectively working in the same place, I feel like it would be inevitable that they're gonna fall in love, get married. They're just so alike, they fit so well together, they'd make a perfect couple, so that would be awesome if they got married. Don't think we're gonna see that in the series, because I don't think it would make sense for them to just say, hey, you want to get married? Oh, sure! It made sense for Big Mac and Sugar Belle, but it doesn't make sense for them to do that so fast. So it's a double-edged sword that it's kind of cool cool in that they're resolving things like Garble and Spike, you know, getting Big Mac and Sugar Bell together. It's great, but sometimes it's also, you know, it's kind of makes me sad. Like with Daring Do, it's like that episode effectively destroys Daring Do because, yeah, they were kind of in the wrong and villains, and it's gonna make the previous Daring Do episodes kind of hard, and we're gonna feel bad for Arizodal, and also in the previous Garble episodes, we're gonna kind of feel bad for him too, because, But at the same time, I think it is good to try to resolve as much of the characters and the arcs as possible, because it's definitely more satisfying to feel like, okay, that's been brought to conclusion, okay, we know what's happened with that, but at the same time, headcanons are so much fun. You could say, oh, this character did this, or this character did that. Oh no, Spike and Garble, they didn't make up. Oh, they were enemies forever. That would make me sad, but, you know, or, you know, maybe they resolved the situation a different way, and maybe they became true friends or something, but at the same time, I'm also thinking for everything that they resolve, there's something else that they don't resolve. With so many characters and so many arcs and so many things that have been established in the show, I think it'd be impossible to, like, resolve all of them and bring all of them to conclusion. I was thinking Lightning Dust is an example of this, but not really, because, yeah, the conclusion is that, no, we're not going to make friends with Lightning Dust and that they're going to be rivals for life, so, Which, unfortunately, is totally true, but, yeah, there's parts of me feel like there might be something they could have done more with Lightning Dust. Who knows? Maybe she'll come around. But at the same time, it's dangerous to suggest that we can always resolve everything and always make friends with everybody. Sadly, I wish that were true, but sometimes it's not. But at the same time, that's not a lesson we should be saying to kids. There'll be some people who will be unhappy with the way, like, Daring Do was resolved, because, yeah, that basically destroys Daring Do, or, oh, you didn't resolve this with this character, or you didn't touch that upon that character, so, But still, overall, I think the show has done a decent job of resolving what it could in the time it had. I do have to say that sometimes, though, it did feel like Trivial Pursuit that felt trivial. Surely we could have done a different episode that would have been more... I was honestly hoping for a lot more episodes that were going to make me go, yeah! That was an awesome episode! And totally that happened. But at the same time, there were lots of episodes where it's like, Again, I felt like that guy saying, oh man, you know, I really hope for some action. I'm bored. Because yeah, at the beginning of the season, we were promised a big, huge plot by the supervillains, and frankly, that didn't really get moved forward a lot. Not including the premiere, there were only 2 episodes that really moved the bigger picture of this supervillain plot along in a run of 23 episodes. That kind of didn't make me very happy. It's like, I want to see them do more with this. Some episodes, like The Point of No Return, it's like, oh, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but at the same time, it's also kind of cool because it's touching upon, oh, there was this thing that happened all the way back in season 1 that we completely didn't deal with, but we're gonna have to deal with it now. And also was also a really good lesson in itself too, that, you know what, chasing perfection is ultimately fruitless and pointless and is just simply not a good idea. I mean, I have to say that, yeah, a lot of these episodes are actually moving the bigger picture along. They may not be moving the villain plot along, but yeah, like A Horseshoein is actually moving forward the idea that Starlight Glimmer is going to eventually have to take over the School of Friendship and actually solidify that. It's like, okay, you know what, we promised that all the way back in the very first episode of the season, and now, oh, we're going to basically say, oh no, that offer is still valid, and now you got to prepare for that. And there was an interesting thought I had with Trixie, and really does show the growth of the show, was that Trixie was originally, I'm going to call a throwaway character. She was really only meant to be in like 1 or 2 episodes, and then we really weren't gonna see her again. Then she made friends with Starlight Glimmer, and now she's almost a regular character, and she appears multiple times throughout the series and the season, and I think that's great, so yay! And now they've even given her a real important job within the show. It's like she's now the student counselor for the School of Friendship, so yo, it's like, I'm so proud of you, Trixie. Yes! Really does show how all the ponies have changed and grown. All the ponies are taking on greater and bigger responsibilities. And sometimes those ponies are learning that they don't really need to do that. They're already doing their mission in life, which we learned in the last laugh. I can understand how Pinkie feels that way. It's like every ever pony is taking on more responsibilities, and she's basically staying in the same place, doing the same thing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because she's doing what she's supposed to be doing in life, so, yo! But yeah, overall, the season, I think, has been okay, not great. There have definitely been some great moments and things I've definitely appreciated. I do have to say, on a personal note, I'm really glad the Royal Guard are looking way more competent than they have in previous seasons, where they have not been simply brushed aside and tied up and shoved into a corner to, basically move the story forward. In fact, they've actually in some ways been allowed to do their job effectively, and even were able to stop Chrysalis from getting into the palace and stuff, so yo! Again, I think there are better ways to deal with, we have to get past the guards, than making them look incompetent. And I'm glad that they're trying to find ways to do that. So, yo! Overall, I think the season is okay, but I would have liked some more episodes. But I think we're gonna get all of those kinds of things in the last 3 episodes. Those are the episodes that are gonna make us go, and it's gonna be amazing, because it's gonna be one giant battle between the forces of evil and the magic of friendship, and it's gonna be awesome. So now let's move on to the main 6, and what I think might happen, or more precisely, what I hope happens in the series finale, because it's definitely going to be one last battle between the forces of evil and the magic of friendship, and it's going to be awesome. Roar! Definitely no way that it's going to be anything less than a huge giant battle between all these characters. I'm pretty confident this is not going to be resolved by sitting around a table and talking. Although obviously there's going to be a lot of talking involved, of course. Because yeah, this is definitely not just simply another supervillain that we're just gonna have to, zap with the elements of harmony. Because in theory, we can't do that anyway. But at the same time, I do feel like the elements of harmony are going to make a reappearance. The Tree of Harmony is technically still around, so who knows whatever magic it might possess, and the elements might still be around, and maybe they've been transferred to other characters, so we shall see. The interesting thing is, the main 6 don't even know that the villains are out there. I wonder if anybody's checking Tartarus. They might realize that, oh my gosh, Koshiko and Tyrek are gone. Probably not. Because otherwise, yeah, they would have realized they're gone by now. The main 6 simply don't know the supervillains are out there and plotting against them all this time, which has been a great success for the villains. It's kind of bad for us, but it's great for the villains because it means that they're actually being effective, so that's definitely cool. I mean, for them anyway, but again, I can't figure out whose side I'm on. But yeah, I think that the main 6 are gonna be very surprised, where it's like, Tyrek? Koshiko? Chrysalis? What are you doing here? Whatever Grogar has planned, it's gonna be bad for every pony. Slipping back into the villain stuff for a while, it's gonna be interesting to see who betrays who, because both sides, I'm sure, are ready to betray the other at a moment's notice, so it'll be interesting to see who's gonna betray who first, and what's gonna happen when that happens, and is that gonna be the thing that undoes them? Reminds me of a line from Reboot. Every time they join forces, Megabyte's greed or Hexadecimal's insanity stops them every time, so I think that's going to be part of it, because the supervillains are obviously not on the same side here, even within Team Nemesis. They're really only working together because at this moment it's actually in their best interest to. But once that changes, they're going to go back to basically try to destroy each other. Oh no! But they may not get that far because Grogar might betray them first, so when you have that loose of a team, it's only going to take one little thing to start tearing them apart. So their own greed and self-interest and distrust and all that stuff is going to probably be part of their undoing. Obviously, all the main 6 are going to come together, and probably some of the other characters too, and of course, the magic of friendship is going to overcome them in some way. They said at the very beginning of the season, it's like, we keep telling all the bad guys, but they never seem to listen, that friendship is truly magic. No matter what magic the other villains possess, it will never overcome the magic of friendship, because that magic can't be destroyed. So, roar! It's like, oh, the symbolism! But what I really hope happens is that all the creatures, the students, the other ponies, maybe even some of the other kingdoms all come together to fight the villains for one final time. We will fight for Equestria together! Roar! I think it's great that when there's a monster or supervillain, the main 6 will come out, handle this all on their own, and that's great! As the other characters say in Slice of Life, it's like, don't worry, they'll probably resolve this in 30 minutes, it'll be fine. I think that's great that the main 6 are so strong. but at the same time, they can't handle everything all by themselves, and it's like, I really would love to see, like, the ponies of Ponyville standing up to fight for their own home, because it's their home, too. Because that would be awesome. I love those kinds of moments where, like, everyone comes and stands together. We will fight for Equestria and stand together. Roar! I think also the other ponies and the other creatures would be, like, fed up with, like, some of these supervillains. It's like, no, Derek, you've drained our energy for the last time. Roar! And one way or another, I definitely think it's going to involve the main six and the student characters, because they're definitely a very important part now of the series. And even though we didn't spend all that much time with them overall in this season, and they definitely have a special connection with the tree. And of course, they saved the Tree of Harmony from certain doom and brought upon this great new change. So I'd be very surprised if they're not part of the giant battle at the end of this season, and aren't at least part of how they're gonna, you know, defeat the supervillains. I think that's almost guaranteed that the student characters are gonna basically, you know, be a part of saving Equestria for one more time. So I think it's gonna be awesome. So, roar! This season has been overall about resolving things, bringing things to conclusion, bringing ponies and creatures together. And so yeah, that would be a great way to, you know, end the season and the series, is to, you know, have all the creatures come together for one last battle against the forces of darkness and prove that the magic of friendship will prevail. Roar! The series has changed so much since the very first episode, all those years ago. It started off being about just these 6 ponies, and then it changed into being about all of these creatures all throughout Equestria that were so different, both in even just simple appearance but culture as well. And it was just great. So I think it would be great to show that it's not just going to be the main 6 that are going to save the day. It's going to be every creature coming together, and I think that would be great. So roar! Yeah, this season has been kind of good and kind of bad, and obviously it's been kind of hard because it's the very last season. In some ways, I'd be kind of sad no matter what they did. And yeah, I would have liked a few more meaningful episodes that made me go roar a little bit more. But at the same time, this season has been definitely a very good season, and definitely has been very good at accomplishing what it's trying to do, which is wrapping up the characters, the arcs, and all those things, and come to a reasonably good conclusion. And I think it's been very successful at that. And it still has had some pretty good roar moments and some good songs and good moments, and given a lot of characters one last moment to shine, and even giving characters that haven't had such a moment to shine. And I think all that's great. And I'm sure that whatever Team MLP has planned for us for the series finale, I'm sure it's going to be amazing and awesome. And it's just going to be just so cool. Roar! So, be sure to bring plenty of weapons and ammo, and especially friends, because we're going to be needing them. Roar! So that is the end of my super afterthought review of Season 9. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong, and pony on. Blue Star out.